live totally unexpected. And I'm in this coffee shop in Austin, Texas. Let me bring up YouTube so I can see the comments. Let's see here. I normally would make it, you guys can't even see me. Look at this. Look at this. Let's put this up here. This is how I'm drinking my coffee this morning with a straw because I have clear braces and they turn brown when you're drinking coffee. So today I'm trying it with a straw. But I wanted to jump on here real quick and just reflect on 2020, reflect on these past 12 months because in order for us to move into 2021 with the intention that it's going to be a good year no matter what, which by the way you can set, right? Like we don't have to let 2021 dictate how our year is going to be. We get to set that intention that says it's going to be a darn good year and I don't care what obstacles or challenges I face, it's going to be a good year. So I have been working on this goal setting workshop, annual goal setting workshop for my Single Moms Do Inner Circle. And one of the first exercises I take them through, which is something I've already done when I set my own goals for 2021, is to reflect on the past 12 months and to write out all our accomplishments, all the lessons we learned, all the things we're most proud of, all that good stuff. Hey, darkness has fallen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm at a coffee shop. Like I'm trying to be a little bit quiet. People are probably like, oh my God, she's talking so loud. But yeah, like that's the first question I asked them. Reflect on the last 12 months and really list out everything you've accomplished. And the reason for this is, I know for a lot of people, they're like, you know what I accomplished? I accomplished making it. I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I'm watching this YouTube live right now. Like I am in Austin, Texas. I am in the U.S. right now, and I will be going back to Mexico very soon. So I am super excited about that. Sorry, I'm responding to comments. Y'all are watching this on the replay, and I will respond to comments as I'm going to this live. But yeah, it's pretty exciting to sit down and reflect. And the reason for that is I thought I was one of those people that was like, oh, I didn't do anything. Like 2020 was such a rough year. I didn't accomplish anything, yada, yada, yada. And then I took the time to get quiet and to write out everything that had happened, all the things that I was most proud of. And I was blown away. First of all, I launched my brand new business a month prior to a global pandemic. And this business, which is the Inner Circle, originally had a main focus of travel and living abroad. And then what happened, y'all? The entire travel industry almost disappeared overnight, which nobody would ever imagine that happening. It's like one of the most secure businesses you can get into, but that's exactly what happened. And when that happened, when the pandemic was announced, I lost like 40% of my members right off the bat. These are all single mamas, and they're worried about, and a lot of them weren't worried about it, like losing jobs, all this stuff, and just making sure that they're keeping their kids fed. So they just start cutting expenses that are no longer, like whatever they could cut in order to make sure at the end of the day their family stays fed. And I thought for a second, they're like, man, do I just quit right now? Like, do I give up on this business that I do love? Or do I keep pushing forward? And keep in mind that at the same time, I'm also dealing with the reality of what's happening in the world, right? Like all of a sudden, my true love of travel's gone away. All of a sudden, there's all this fear coming up. There's panic. Like I was panicked. I was in a state of fear for a while, y'all. I fell into a depression. Like all the stuff that other people are experiencing, I was experiencing too. At the same time, I had to also lead over 100 women. At the time, I was still on Facebook, which a lot of you guys know, I actually quit Facebook a few months back, handed over my 2 groups of over 10,000 members to new ownership, new branding, no affiliation to me at all. At the time, I still had all that and I had to lead. And it's like, how do you lead when you yourself are falling apart? The way I led was by telling people, like, I'm not doing so great. I'm a human being. I'm not doing so great. I too am struggling and all this kind of stuff. But I chose to hang tight onto my business. And when we zeroed out, so zeroed out is when, this is my interpretation of zeroed out. I don't know if there's an actual saying or whatever, but my business output and my business input equaled zero. What I was making and what was coming in flatlined, right? And I just was like, I know that I'm supposed to keep going with this. This is my passion. I enjoy my work and would do it even if I were not getting paid for it. So I held on. Luckily, the membership site took off. Got a huge initial hit, and then it took off and it grew, and it's this beautiful thing now. And we shifted with a more of a focus on personal development, manifestation, creating your dream life, and yes, travel and living abroad still. But it was scary. And then I looked at, what other things did I accomplish in 2020? And those are the things you want to look at too. You should today list out everything that you accomplished, everything you're proud of in 2020, no matter how small that is. If you're proud of getting out of bed each day, be proud, because it was not easy. If you're proud of holding on to a job, getting a new job, keeping your family afloat, staying sane, during one of the hardest times that I've ever experienced in my lifetime, and you probably ever experienced in your lifetime, write that down. Be proud of that, because the way that we move forward into the next 12 months is by first reflecting on what happened. And the reason why that works is because then you can take all the lessons you learned and you get to take that forward into the next 12 months. Lauren says, hello, I love your channel. I'm strongly considering moving to Ecuador within 3 years. Do you think now is too long to be planning my exit strategy there? No, it's never too early to plan, right? First of all, so one of the things I teach in the inner circle is something called scripting. It's where you actually script or write out your visions or your desires, right? So say you want to move to Ecuador. You're going to write out as if you're already living there. Oh my gosh, I woke up today. It was so beautiful. I had my morning coffee or whatever it is. The day went so smoothly. I played with my kids. I met up with new friends. Like, you're going to already start envisioning this, writing it out, moving towards it, because that's how it becomes real, right? So there's nothing wrong with planning 3 years in advance. And you might think that it's 3 years from now, and then it could turn into a whole lot sooner. When I decided to sell all my possessions and travel the world, when I first started thinking about it, I didn't know that from that time of initially getting that idea to 30 days later that I would actually have sold all my possessions and started traveling the world, y'all. I thought it would be more of a future thing, even if it was 6 months or a year from then. But no, it turned out to be within 30 days, because as soon as I set the intention of this is what's going to happen, this is what I desire, this is what I want, and then I started taking little action. So that might start with planning, right? You're thinking it, you're planning it, you start taking these little actions, moving forward with what you desire, and then all of a sudden that reality starts to come to fruition. So no, there is nothing wrong, Lauren, with planning now. Like, I highly recommend planning now. I highly recommend getting excited like this is going to happen right now. So yeah, go for it. But back to my reflections. It was really powerful to sit down and look at everything that had happened over the next 12 months. And, like I said, when I had looked back, I thought, I really didn't do much. And when I wrote out everything, I was kind of blown away by everything I accomplished. And I think if you do the same, actually, I know it, you will be blown away by everything you were able to do and the things you're able to be proud of for 2020. Because I know a lot of people are saying, and I'm one of them, right? Like, it was a really, really tough year. And just because it turned 2021 doesn't mean that all of our issues and problems have magically disappeared, right? It's the same thing, right? But now we get to say, okay, 2020 was what it was. We're in a new year. I like the energy of a new year. I'm one of the people saying that you don't have to wait till the new year to start creating the life you want, to start setting goals and all this stuff and accomplishing them. But there is this energy that comes with a brand new year, right? There is this powerful, powerful energy. And I think it's like a collective consciousness around the world of people that are like setting intention, setting their goals, desires, whatever the case is. There's definitely that out there in the air. And I think that's what brings part of the excitement of a new year. But what happens is people get excited, right? They set all these goals, they set all these intentions, and then their life stays the same. And it's like, first of all, this is what you didn't do. You didn't reflect on what you learned from the past year. You didn't take the lessons you learned and then utilize those lessons over the next 12 months. And you didn't take any action. Because we can set these goals, we can set these intentions, all this kind of stuff. But if we're not willing to take any form of action to move towards them, then we're going to stay in the same place that we're already at. And I spent a lot of my life like this, right? Where I was just like, oh, it's the new year. I'm going to lose weight. First of all, don't say lose, say release, because you don't want to find it again. I want this and this and this. And then I never even looked back on what I wrote. Like, how do you know what you're trying to accomplish if you're not going to review it as much as possible? If that means daily, weekly, monthly, go ahead and do that. So anyways, I go on these tangents when I get about this, but it's just what happened when I decided to reflect on 2020, moving into 2021. And when I was creating this goal setting workshop, which by the way is happening tonight at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time in my membership site, which I can drop a link here. You can join for a 2-week free trial, which is pretty amazing. But when I was doing that, I realized the importance. I already knew the importance, but just realizing the importance of starting off with that one question, the workshop. The question of, what did you learn? What did you accomplish? What are you proud of? Because a lot of people are struggling this year. A lot of people are thinking that they didn't accomplish anything, that nothing good came out of this. And you have to reflect back and see that and get clear, even if it's the little things, like I said, getting out of bed, holding it together, letting yourself fall apart, but then rebuilding yourself. There's been many times in my life where I have fallen completely apart. When I went through my divorce 4 years ago, fallen completely apart and then had to rebuild myself and start anew. The key there was not staying in that place, but continuing to move forward. Okay, here. So what I want you guys to do is go home, or if you're not at home, if you're driving, I hope you're not driving and watching this or that, but go do this exercise. Go reflect on 2020 and then celebrate all the things that you did. Like, really give yourself props for not only making it through this crazy year, but being excited about this new year and being excited about every accomplishment you did. If you want to join in on our annual goal setting workshop, go ahead and follow that link and join us. There's a 2-week free trial happening right now. And the inner circle is a special place. Like, we aren't doing our goals alone. We are doing this entire workshop led by me, and we are creating our lives, the lives that we love together, right? That's what it is. It's a family, it's a community, it's amazing. And I can't put it into words. You just have to see it in order to see what I'm talking about. I hope everyone has an amazing 12 months coming up. I think if you set that intention right now, that's exactly what you're going to have that. And I hope to jump on more lives with these little tips and tricks and everything else in the future. So bye everyone. Have a good day.